What a wonderful day for a winter walk. This video is for those who have already been to Moscow and are willing to explore Russia further. We are at the Savvino-Storozhevsky Monastery in Zvenigorod. Zvenigorod is just 48 kilometers west of Moscow, which makes it very accessible. Zvenigorod was established in the 12th century and is considered one of the most picturesque towns in the Moscow region. Some even call it the Russian Switzerland. The Savvino-Storozhevsky Monastery is a Russian Orthodox monastery that breathes history. The name Savvino honors its founder, Saint Sava, while Storozhevsky refers to the hill Storozhi, where the monastery stands, meaning guards. Sava himself greets us here, and judging by the condition of his feet and fingers, people still have faith. This sculpture is relatively new. It was installed here in 2007. Saint Sava founded the monastery in 1398 during the late Middle Ages. Initially serving as a military outpost under the Grand Duchy of Moscow, it later evolved into a spiritual center. Sava was one of the disciples of Saint Sergius of Radonezh. Saint Sergius of Radonezh was a Russian spiritual leader and monastic philosopher reformer. He was the founder of the Trinity Lavra of Saint Sergius near Moscow, what is now the most venerated monastic house in Russia. Don't forget to cross yourself 3 times before entering the monastery. Traditionally, women wear a long skirt and headscarf when visiting an Orthodox monastery. You can always find skirts and headscarves to borrow on this bench, though it's irrelevant in winter, I guess. We're all wrapped up in something head to toe anyway. There's a toilet to our left. And now let's walk along this alley. In summer, everything here is covered in roses, but there's a certain charm in winter too. The monastery was a prominent pilgrimage location for Russian Tsars. It had an opportunity to enjoy the company of Ivan the Terrible, Empresses Elizabeth and Catherine, Emperors Nikolai I and Alexander II. There was a special road built from Moscow to Zvenigorod straight to the monastery. It was known as the Tsarist Road or the Road of the God-chosen Tsars. Today, it remains a popular destination for pilgrims and tourists alike, offering accommodation, dining options, and cultural religious events. In the center, we can see the Nativity of the Virgin Mary Orthodox Cathedral. Belfry, or Zvonnitsa in Russian, is right behind us, and it's the tallest building of the entire ensemble here. To the left we can see the Tsarina's chambers, built in the 17th century to host Tsarina Maria on pilgrimage. And to the right, the palace of Tsar Alexei, which hosted the Tsar on pilgrimage. The Nativity of the Virgin Mary Orthodox Cathedral is the central monument here. Originally constructed in 1405, the cathedral reflects early Muscovite architectural styles. Its interior features include elaborate frescoes attributed to artists associated with Andrei Rublev. It was built during Saint Sava's lifetime, and his relics are kept in the cathedral. It's not allowed to film inside the cathedral. I'd like to remind you that you need to cross yourself before you light a candle by an icon. Take your time to admire the hand-painted frescoes dating back to the 17th century. To the right from the altar, you'll see the reliquary. People come here to venerate the relics of Saint Sava. So don't jump the queue, wait patiently in line to venerate the holy relics. The Palace of Tsar Alexei Mikhailovich, the father of Emperor Peter the Great. The Palace of Tsar Alexei Mikhailovich was built in the 1650s. The legend says that the Tsar chose this monastery his residence after having been rescued from a bear attack in the forest nearby by an elder who appeared out of nowhere and scared off the bear. The Tsar went to the monastery to thank God, where he saw an icon and recognized the elder who saved him. Tsar Alexei took the monastery under his protection, came on pilgrimages and supported it financially. You may come inside and buy different items in Russian style, although filming is not allowed. The bell tower, belfry, or zvonnitsa in Russian, was constructed in the 1650s. Renowned for its distinctive sound, the bells contribute significantly to the ambience of the monastery. The Tsarina's chambers, or Tsaritsыны palaty in Russian, were built in the middle of the 17th century for the spouse of Tsar Alexei Mikhailovich, Tsarina Maria Ilinishna. Tsarina Maria was noted for being a devoted Christian. Her presence encouraged new pilgrims and sponsors to come here, reinforcing the status of the monastery in the country. The chamber's construction connects them with the Trinity Cathedral and makes it a united complex of buildings. The cathedral was built in 1652, and it's said to be the last tent-like church, or Shatrovaya Tserkov, in Russia. The direct passage from the chambers into the cathedral allowed the Tsarina to attend services anytime she needed, which made the cathedral a house church of the Tsarina. You can also see the decorated front porch that was used by the Tsarina. The single-headed eagle is the symbol of Lithuanian-Polish origin of the Tsarina, and two-headed eagles as the Russian symbol. There's an exposition in there that represents authentic Tsarist interiors and household items of the 17th century. Take your time to pace yourself around the monastery. Soak up the ambience of it. Relish the quiet. And now we're headed back to check on an interesting building we left behind. The Savvino-Storozhevsky Monastery has a brewery selling kvass and zbitin to the public. It also produces and sells a wide variety of bread and pastries to visitors in this tower. Be aware that kvass can make you tipsy, so refrain from driving if you have had a lot of kvass. This building is called the Provision Tower. Let's go inside. There are 3 refectories on the territory. This one is the smallest. Now let's walk around this part of the monastery. This is one more refectory. The walls with towers of the monastery indicate its strategic significance. They protected the monastery from attacks. Director Andrei Tarkovsky filmed the first and final scenes of his film Solaris here. The film crew lived in the monastery. Tarkovsky's mother rented a dacha in Zvenigorod, and he was familiar with the place. The monastery was mentioned in the poems of the most famous Russian poet, Alexander Pushkin. And an oil painting by the Russian artist Isaac Levitan depicts the monastery standing by a river bent in the evening light. The painting is called Evening Bells, or Вечерний звон, and has been housed in Moscow's Tretyakov Gallery since 1918. It is said that when the French army captured the town during the War of 1812 and occupied the monastery, they took nothing from it. General Beauharnais, I have no idea how to pronounce it in English. So the elder promised to save his army if they keep the monastery intact. The general gave his orders, and later he saw the elder depicted in an icon inside the cathedral here. The general survived the battles of the Russian-French War. As we know, the rest of the army wasn't that lucky. The son of Beauharnais later married the daughter of Nicholas I and was baptized into the Orthodox Christian faith. In 1918, the monastery was officially closed by the authorities of Soviet Russia. The Romanian monks faced confiscation of property and repressions from the new government. The buildings were used for accommodating officers of the Tsarist army, a camp for juvenile delinquents, and a prisoner of war camp for Polish soldiers. During the Second World War, while being evacuated, a unique 55-ton bell was damaged. Its powerful ring, according to legend, could be heard all the way to the capital city. Luckily, the monastery wasn't destroyed. The monastery is surrounded by thick walls with built-in towers. The length is 790 meters and the height reaches up to 9 meters. Visitors may ascend certain sections of these fortified walls. A kilometer away from this complex of the monastery lies the hermitage of Savvino-Storozhevsky. This part is just one part of the complex. I will tell you about the rest of it in the next videos. Hope you have enjoyed the tour around this part of the monastery. Come to Russia and dive into its rich history by visiting iconic places like the Savvino-Storozhevsky Monastery in Zvenigorod. Take care and спасибо.